and good afternoon. Welcome to Planner Craft. First of all, I'd like to say thank you to Leslie for going a bit early today so that you could all finish off her lovely string before you come across to me. Secondly, I'm going to be using watercolour pencils today, so don't put them away yet. As it's National Stationery Week, today's Pencil Day, which is my favourite day in the week, as you might have guessed by the number of pencils I have.
Okay, so we have Louise Palmer and Elaine who've joined us as well.
Hi Elaine and Louise. If you missed the string this morning, you may want to catch up with that straight after this one and just watch along for this first bit. So this morning we did a lovely outline and I based my design on the Watercolour Flower Painter's Pocket Palette. It's a lovely mouthful. I've put a link up on the group for those of you who don't already have this book, because it is such a fantastic book to get you started. Okay. And I've also popped up a link for the lovely Colour Index by Jim Krause. Now, please excuse the state of this book, but it's a little bit old. So it's nearly 20 years old, this book. So as you can tell, it's been well loved and well used, and it is really useful for getting your mojo in place when it comes to colour. Okay, so we're going to go for this lovely bright palette here, which then led to the flowers that we're painting today. Now, for this tutorial, you can use any make of watercolour pencils you like. So I've got a few different ones here. So we've got a set from Brunswick. I've got some Derwent watercolours. I have my Inktenses and my Graphite tints, and they all do slightly different. So I thought what I would do is take you through a few different pencils. Okay. So hopefully...
A couple of seconds because notifications just come up saying we're live. So
okay, I'll wait a little bit longer for everybody to join us.
I know some people, it doesn't, for some reason the notifications are a bit delayed coming up saying that we've started.
So we'll wait for a few people.
If you have any questions, be sure to pop them in the comments. I'm here just answering the questions for you.
Okay, so what I'll do while we're waiting is I'll take you on a quick tour of the pencils. So the Brunswick ones are a good entry level watercolour. So if you're looking for something just to get you started while we're all stuck at home, these are quite a good place to start, not too expensive. Next level up will be your watercolours. So these are really good quality watercolour, but they do come out paler than the Inktenses. Okay, so if you're looking at doing some nice soft watercolours, these are perfect. Next we have our Inktenses. Now, as the name suggests, these are actually ink in a pencil rather than a watercolour. So the benefit of these is once they are wet and are dry, they are then permanent. So you can work onto fabric with them, you can work onto canvas with them. So if you're looking at doing mixed media, these are fantastic to invest in. They have pencils, blocks and the new palette as well. And I believe Ian's got something to tell you about those in a minute. And finally we have the Graphite tints. Now these are half watercolour pencil and half graphite. So you get a lot muted shades. They're perfect for doing landscapes or sculptural work and that sort of thing. So if you're into a bit of urban art, I know it's hard at the moment, you can only draw out the window so many times, but they are perfect for that. How are we doing?
Okay, yeah, keep going.
Have we got everybody in the room from earlier?
Don't know, they haven't said hello, so just keep going and
okay,
they'll join me.
I'll get started then, and if we need to go over bits I'll happily do that.
And so we did get the scan and cut to work in the end.
Oh yes.
Just gave the scanner a clean and it loaded first time. So
yeah, it just needs a bit of clean.
Who was it who was saying she had the same? Was it Tracy saying she had the same issue?
Yeah.
Yeah, so give your scanner a bit of a clean, Tracy. If you're not sure how to do it, go back to my scan and cut maintenance video for the CMs and the DXs. And it shows you on there how to clean your scanner if you do.
and that's in the group or on the YouTube channel. Okay, so with watercolour pencils, you've got a couple of ways of working. You can, she says, dropping it. You can work onto your paper or onto a side piece to create your own palette. So really, then pick that up with our brush. We can actually draw straight onto our image, or if you are very careful and you let it dry properly, you can work on the end of your lead. Okay? Very misleading calling it lead, but there's no lead in it. But
Tracy's here. She's just trying to fix Disney Plus because it seems down.
Oh dear, that's no good. So you can work.
And Sarah leaves Cicely for registration afternoon.
I just wonder if you're at class. Okay, so I'm going to start off with a nice light green. So in the case of Derwent's...
screen.
Huh? It's what?
Carol's saying she can't see the bottom of the screen.
Oh, is it because hang on. I'll go around that way. I'll move the water. There we go. That's probably a bit easier for you to see. Now my brush has got to behave. Okay, so I've just drawn a little bit on here, just dry. Or we can go onto our actual piece here. So wherever you're going to have deepest colour, you can go straight on. And because our lily is white, I'm going to start by building this leaf first. So you don't want to press too hard with these.
Oh, you're shaking the camera.
Honestly, Will's full of critics. I'm shaking the camera.
I don't think I can stop that.
Okay, so once you've applied a flat area colour, we can then go in with a brush. So the brush that I'm using is a Pan Art number 10 round brush, and to be honest, if you have a brush that is this size, you can probably do sort of 90% of your painting without changing brush. Okay, and you're just going to sweep that over your colour.
Yeah, that almost comes across a luminous yellow on my screen.
It is quite a bright green, but it's not quite that bright. So remember how we've drawn our line in our watercolour pencil, so we can actually start to blend this outline away. So hopefully you've drawn yours in lighter blue than I have, but I wanted it to be visible on camera at least to start with. Okay, so while that is still wet, we can scribble out a bit of dark green, and we can just wet it so that we've picked some up on a brush, and we can start to drop that in. So hopefully that comes across enough. Now, like I said, the watercolour in the Derwent's are actually quite soft, so if we compare it, for instance, to the Bunsen ones. These are a bit stronger, and you want to do it so that your paint is still wet, so it does blend in beautifully. And to show you the real difference, this is going to be strong. Let's go for gotta be careful because it's balanced precariously. Running out of desk space. So these much stronger. Now don't forget to do this bit under here, and this is where your darkest green is going to go, so we can go back into our ink tints. Remember what I said, when it's still wet you can still work with it, but as soon as it dries it's permanent. If you don't have any Inktenses, you can just work layer upon layer of watercolour to build it up. So I don't think that just because you haven't got this particular... I'm just going to pop a little shadow just on this side. Okay, so far so good. Ian's not colouring along to this one.
There's not enough room for both of us to paint.
No, there isn't enough room. Suddenly thinking, we should have really got a bigger desk. Or fewer pencils, I don't know which. So, again, I'm going to go in with my pencil. And this time, I'm going to go round this way with the lightest colour. And before you apply any water, I'm going to blend in my darker colour. There are so many different ways that you can work with watercolour pencils. They really are quite versatile. I'm just going to pop a little bit of the dark colour up here.
Carol only has an apple green and a teal green in Inktense colours.
Yep, that's absolutely fine. Which is why I'm not giving you colour references. So whatever you have is absolutely fine. Just tweak it to suit your mix. Don't forget, you can always use yellow as well to give yourself a few greens. Okay, so now with those on there, we can go in with our wet brush. And don't forget to go round your outline as well, just to soften it in. So how many people then are going to admit to redrawing their drawing from this morning? So just because I want a bit more of that dark green, I'm going to go back to my Inktense. Now remember what I said about the fact that once it's wet and then dry it's permanent. Because that is now dried, we need to do an extra piece. So if you start to get a harsh line, that's okay. We can always go back in with a bit more water just to blend it out.
Bring it up just a bit more.
Oh, sorry. There we go. Hopefully you can see that okay now. And I'm just going to pick up a little bit more just for up here in this section. Okay, now for this next leaf I want to make sure that I don't go over my rose leaves. So I'm just going to pour that in like so.
You can pop it up on the Scan and Cut group, Tracy. Tracy's done digital version which she coloured with Procreate.
Okay, cool, yeah. Yeah, I can pop that up on the group. I'm still having my first bit of a play with Procreate, but I haven't got an Apple Pencil. So we were just looking at the lines, weren't we, when we were putting up the links and going, ooh, that's nice.
Or Huion or whatever it is they're called.
Yeah.
I never know how to pronounce that one.
It's a bit of a funny one, isn't it? So what I find is if you're doing something where you have like 3 of the same leaf, I tend to try and do those all at once, otherwise they can look a bit like they're not part of the same plant.
What's our scan and cut group?
Scan and cut and papercraft courses by Plannercraft.
There you go.
Well, courses, classes and workshops, isn't it?
Yeah.
But the easiest way to get to it is to go on the community tab of the Plannercraft Facebook page. And it's in there. So because it's going to be getting darker in this bit, I've just gone straight in with the Inktense. But I'm only using a tiny, tiny, tiny amount. Otherwise it will overpower it. Okay, so I'm just going to clean my brush. And I'm going to work from light to dark. So. Want to go careful around here because you don't want to lose the end of your petal.
You found it.
You see, I thought I was being so clever when I named the group, you know, thinking SEO and all that. Yeah. But it's such a pain to try and say it over a live stream. Mind you, if you'd have told me before all this that I was going to be live streaming every day on Facebook, I would have said, no. We used to do a lot of live streaming on YouTube.
Yeah.
Way back when.
And Twitch when it was first popular.
Oh yes, yeah. Twitch when they first had the creative channel come up. It's changed now, so it's makers and crafting. But when we first went live, it was known as creative, and Adobe was sponsoring it, and that's how come I found Twitch.
Yeah. So Carol drew hers this morning, obviously with us, and then tried in Canvas, and it was much better. So.
Okay. Now you want to skip the wet bits and work on something else while that dries. Okay. So we're going to go and work on our daisies. So give your brush a good clean. And I'm just going to blot it on some bamboo sheet. So you can get bamboo sheet from most supermarkets, would you say? Wilco's do it. Yeah. So it's really environmentally friendly alternative to kitchen towel. So basically you can use it and reuse it and wash it and use it again. It's quite forgiving, and you can do all the things that you usually do with kitchen towel. So I've just dampened my brush again, and I'll move my paper back up so you can see this.
No, we did have videos up on Twitch, but Twitch in their wisdom took them all down.
Well, I did take them all down. There's clips
them.
left.
Yeah, there should be some clips left, but apparently Tracy's saying there are no clips or anything on there at the moment, so the clips may have gone as well.
Okay, great. Fantastic.
So we'll try and re-upload them back onto Twitch, because obviously we've got them all downloaded, so we'll try and transfer it back across so there is something back up there.
Yeah, basically with Twitch it's more of a live broadcast thing, so it's a case of that we will have to do some more streams to Twitch. Unfortunately we can't dual stream at the moment, which is annoying. Otherwise we could be putting all these up on Twitch as well, because we have different followers on Twitch, don't we? So it's like, oh, gotta do something for them too.
Yes. Always do some building in Sims. Yeah.
Yeah, Twitch started as like a gaming channel really, and it still has a very strong gaming focus, but they've actually been taken over by Amazon. So if you have Prime, you can actually join it as a Prime member. So I'm just going to add bit more water to that because it's a bit too strong. So you want it so that you've got a relatively dark mix but not too dark. And this is just the watercolour, remember, so you can go back in and blend this out. So what I'm doing is I'm going around the base of my petals. Now remember we said that you don't really paint petals, you just paint the shapes that they make, so the shadows.
Tracy's going to love and leave you because I've got this really cool magazine I'm going to start reading, wink wink. Apparently there is a dual stream app you can use.
Oh, now that would be handy because obviously, we're very aware that we need to be making content for all our channels. So at the moment the Facebook Lives are also going up onto the YouTube.
Yeah, but we have to do them.
Yeah, just down to time, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so
I'll have a look at that, Tracy, and see what I can find.
yeah. So once you've done one layer, you can start to go back in and just soften it out a bit. Doesn't matter that you've got a tide line for this one.
Oh, and I like your picture, by the way. I've just had a quick look. It's very good.
That's not fair. You get sneaky peeks. One thing I will introduce you to next week is going to be masking and masking fluid. So because this is watercolour, we can go back to our same blob on our palette for now.
She's just looking for it again. She used to have it. The app for the dual streaming.
Cool. Cool. So that petal's there is set down underneath, so I'll just drop a
What have you done this time?
I was going to say, it's unlike us to have sirens, isn't it, here?
Mm.
We used to get them all the time, didn't we, where we used to get them? It was such a pain with streaming. You could guarantee, couldn't you? It would be dead quiet and then it would either be that or the cathedral bells, wouldn't it? So
The bells, yeah.
we used to avoid doing a live stream on a Monday night, wasn't it?
Yeah, because it was bell practice. And Sarah Lou says she loves using masking fluid.
Yeah. Well, there's even a better thing than masking fluid, and that's a masking pen. It's produced by Molito, so if you know their paint pens, it's in exactly the same range as those. Absolutely fantastic. Just gonna grab a bit more of that blue. Needs to be a little bit stronger just there. So your shading is what gives you your form to your petals rather than drawing around them, which is what I was saying earlier. Don't think you're drawing petals. You're just drawing a guide.
That's like that's cool.
Okay, so I'm going to let that dry for a bit.
Thank you for that, Tracy. I will have a look at that.
And next I'm going to step into...
Sarah says she's got that too. The masking pen.
It is very good investment, very handy. Even with stamping it's handy.
Mm.
I'm just going to do some yellow. And I'm going to just bring in a little bit of the Inktense yellow, which is a slightly different shade, because that yellow looks a little bit too orangey. So I'm just going to water this down, and this will be intense. Well, just going to draw this right down the base of my stamens. I'm also going to pop this just over here. And you know, I'm just doing one half, and if you go out the line, don't worry, it's fine. Okay.
Ooh, that's bright.
Yeah. And then we're going to go into our warmer yellow, And in a minute we're going to go into yellow ochre as well, just to give it that bit of shading. Okay. I'm going to have a little bit of, I have to keep remembering to put it up there, so I'm going to have a little bit of brown. And let's go for a tiny bit of orange. So if you haven't got yellow ochre, you can just use a little bit of brown and orange to pull it down. Or we can go a bit powerful. We'll go for it. So just clean your brush out, because you don't want to taint our colours. I'm going to go into this one first, I think. Yeah. A little bit of that. And I'm just going to drop it in. Just going to get a bit more brown just on that one, I think. And this is a case of let the water do the hard bit for you. So far so good.
Yeah, no questions yet.
If you have one, take a drink. And I don't mean the paint water, and don't wash your paint brush in your drink.
You haven't got one, have you?
No, I haven't got one. That's because I haven't sensitive on my paint brush.
Yeah, you normally end up drinking the wrong one.
Yeah. Okay. Just put that on the shading reference. So, we're going to go back into our warmer yellow, and we're going to work just in this centre section here of our rose.
The Spectrum Noise Aqua Blend apparently did not work very well with your technique, so she's going to try again later. Yeah, it could just be pencils. I wasn't impressed when I was reviewing the aqua blends, I have to say. There are easier pencils to work with. So I'm just literally just putting this wherever we have. If you do make a little smudge, don't worry. Just put some water over the top and just brush it away. And then go over the top of your bamboo. Lift it out. Make sure your hands are dry. Can't agree, she's not very impressed either.
I haven't tried the Arteza ones to say whether they'd be any good or not.
What, the watercolour ones?
Yeah. I have their normal pencils, but I don't have the watercolour pencils.
Is that the one your mum's got? Your mum got the Arteza ones.
I've got one's Arteza pencils.
Yet another one been half-inched.
Yeah. Bye.
Sorry, Chris, you'll get it back at some point.
She says, no, that's okay, I bought another 10 pack since then. Okay, so while that's drying off a little bit, we're going to move back to our lilies. So, I'm going to rotate this round.
Are you sure it's a lily, not a tulip?
Yes, it's definitely a lily and not a tulip, dear. For those of you that didn't see this morning's stream yet, he doesn't know his flowers, because apparently I'm painting a tulip.
Not my fault.
Okay, going to go back into our blue, and you want to get this as soft can be. Okay, so if we pull that out and you see that it's nice and pale, that's the colour you want. Now watercolours will dry a little bit lighter, but not that much lighter. And next we're going to go round this line here, and you want to blend in this outline. Okay, so just go back in and just take a bit more paint if you need to, just to blend that in. And we're going to do the same on this top edge. Now at this point, if you do get a bit of green transference because your watercolour isn't permanent, that is absolutely fine, because in nature it would reflect the greenery around it anyway. Okay.
Carol's with me, she doesn't know a dash from a dailies.
It wouldn't have been so bad if it wasn't for the fact it's my favourite flower that he got wrong.
It's one of them days.
That was me going to say, it just shows how long it is since you bought me flowers. Okay.
On a note of, if you want to get some more Inktense product, anybody who does, there is a current offer on CassArt, which is CASSART.co.uk, and they have 10% or an extra 10% off all the Inktense range. And all you have to do is put the code in Inktense10 as a code at the end, and it will give you an extra 10% off, and that's valid until the 10th of May. So anybody who wants to get some Inktenses, I'll have a look at the range. Go and have a look. CassArt are very reasonable on their price anyway, but an extra 10% off makes it a bargain, so do go and have a look.
Okay, so now we have, I'm trying to think which way up it goes. It's that way, isn't it? There we go. So used to doing this upside down. So now, what we'll do is we'll let that dry, and then see how we've got this harsh line here. We can then work back into that with our watercolour pencils when that layer's dry. So, next I'm going to go back into the stem of my flower, and we're going to go for our lighter green again. And we can literally go straight in, like so. Okay. And then I'm going to go into my Inktense for my yellow. I'm just going to do a little patch just there, where the two are going to blend in. Finally, going to add some shade with the dark green. Dampen my brush again, and we can just soften it up. Okay. Not too busy typing away.
I'll just put the offer in
Oh, the code. Yeah.
messages.
Okay. So while we're waiting for that section over there to dry, we're going to come and work down here.
So this is where your Tealy pencil could come into its own. So you're going to want to go for something that's a slightly different shade, because you want to differentiate between it being the daisy as opposed to the lily. So we're going to go straight in with our dark green. This one's got a bit of a shading to the leaf, so we can go in like that. And we've even got a leaf that goes a little bit back here, and then just to ground it I'll just pop a little bit just in there. Okay, so if I show you that bit closer. So basically as you move down you want to get it paler and paler so we can just wash it out. And do the underside of this leaf first, and then I'm just going to take what's left on my brush over the top. And finally just colour in this top section. So far so good? If you have any questions about brushes as well, don't be afraid to ask. As I said, you can do most of your work with a number 10 round, but I have got other brushes that we can talk about if you want to. So next I'm going to go in and I'm going to do my leaves for my rose. So I want these to be different shade of green again. Heard of 50 Shades of Grey, this is more 50 Shades of Green. So I'm going to start off by literally going straight in to my leaves with the yellow pencil. Then we can work over the top with our green. And you want to blend it out to the green and the edges. Okay. And finally, we're going to go to our darkest green. I'm going to almost outline the leaves. So we've got a bit of a shadow that comes down here. This one's going to come down here and that way. Let's give it a leaf that way. Okay. Now you could do this entire painting in the ink tents if you wanted to. You just use far less of the pencil because it doesn't really packs a punch. So you'd never use this much with your typical Inktense painting. Let me just check that a bit. Yeah, I'm going to blend that back just a little touch. There we go. I'm just going to put a ghost of a leaf just in there, which is going to go round behind there.
So far so good? Anybody going, help, please help?
Not yet.
Okay. So as long as your rose is now dry, we can start to work a bit more on it. So I'm going to go in with, I'm going to go for the, let's be brave and go with the purple. And I'm going to use the tiniest amount, and this is just for the shadows. Okay, so I'm not making a purple rose. You're just literally going to use this for where the shading is. Now the reason I do it this way around is then as I do the subsequent layers it softens the shadow out quite a bit. And I want to put a little bit just in there. So this will really blend out and soften. So the reason I've gone for purple is it's the complementary colour to the flower that I'm doing. It's a little bit of mist there, but we'll come back and we'll sort that in a minute. Blend that shadow out underneath this petal here as well. Okay, so with a bit of mist, what I'll do is I'll scribble a bit more on our palette down here. Again, pick it up and blend it out. Make sure you're not getting too much pigment on your brush. And I'm just going to touch it in where I need to. That petal there is particularly dark, so we can go back and sort that. Okay, and we can even add a bit of that just into our leaves, just pop them back a bit if we're thinking that they're coming too far forward. The one thing that you don't do is use any black. And we can even start to pour a little bit of that colour into our daisy now. And you really want to be really soft and subtle. So I know this probably isn't coming across a lot on your screen, but you really want to be light-handed with it. And the idea being it just ties it in there to there, just a little. Any questions?
No, not at the moment. No.
Okay. While we're waiting for that to dry off a little bit, I'm just going to go back in here. I'm just going to draw a little bit of veining detail Can you see that on screen? Okay.
Yeah, it's very fine, but yeah.
Yeah, you want this to be quite fine detail though. Yeah, it's just a little bit of a suggestion of the way that the flower is going to grow. So just with that bit there. And this time we're going to go to our rigger brush. So if you only have a number 10, you can do this and just have a really light hand. A rigger brush can be a bit more, how can I describe it? It's like smoothing. So you know when we use the brush tool in Affinity and we have it with the longer handle, that's more or less what we're doing with a rigger. I used to have a fine detail brush that I would do this with, but I actually think this is actually the better brush for it because it's got the length to be able to sweep. Has everybody gone off to sleep yet?
Yeah.
So chilled, they've all gone to sleep. So if you find that your brush is not picking up the colour, just go back into the water and just pick up some more. And same around here and right there. Okay. So with my rigger brush again, I'm going to pick up some more of our deep yellow and just start going around the detail of the flower. If you find you're not getting enough what you need, we can always go in while your paper's still wet and actually build up greater depth of colour. So by doing this you actually get a really deep pigment transference. So we can actually go right in here. And you can see the difference between where the paper is wet and where the paper is dry. And we can just get my brushes up on the side a bit and just dampen it again. And we can still blend it, but you'll still have that definition of that line, whereas if we go over it on dry paper, it'll blend much more. I'm just going to go in there, follow that little guideline that we put in.
Will you be continuing to stream after lockdown? Yes, all being well.
All being well. Whether we'll be doing it as much during the day, I don't know. it really depends on what it ends up doing. So at the moment it's all a bit up in the air. Technically you should be out digging holes. So it's because this petal goes around here. Make the most of us while you got us. Hey sweetie.
Mm.
I'm going to put in another few veins going this way. Trouble is, I'm enjoying far too much having you here, aren't I?
Yeah.
And the business doesn't mind either. What's that?
A way of streaming to multiple platforms.
Very cool. So where we put our shading line in before and our original outline just here, I'm going to go in with our deeper colour and going to pop a little bit just around there too, just to bring out that front petal bit. And what I will do in a minute is put some purple in to knock that one back at the bottom as well, so it doesn't look like it's overlapping. It's supposed to be tucking back under too. So move your brush in a swooshing motion around side to side, and then we can just blend that top line in. And a little bit just there. I think it's been quite an eye-opener, hasn't it, in doing this?
Yeah.
As to how much we haven't been streaming. Because we used to do like a weekly show, didn't we?
Yeah.
Used to be on a Friday night. So we'd have the kids, wouldn't we, every week?
Yeah. Well, we try and do it on my days off, wouldn't we? Or...
Yeah.
So I used to have a rotating shift pattern, so it would change each week which days we were streamed. Which became a bit of a nightmare, didn't it?
Yeah, that was a bit... trouble is that then you struggle to keep the same audience.
Yes.
So... And then we moved and we just stopped, didn't we? Just didn't do anything.
Mm.
Depression for you.
It's not like that, we just didn't have it set up right, did we?
Oh, yeah, it was partly that, for being honest.
Yeah, but it wasn't just that, is what I'm saying.
No.
There was more to it than... I know it played a part, but... Well, I might...
Huh?
So I'm just thinking how much that wobbles when you're colouring. I know you can't help it because it's just the upper brush. No, I know. I'm just trying to think of ways we can clamp it to something else so it doesn't.
Clamp it to the trolley. Because you might struggle actually, because you need to clamp it the other way, don't you?
I'll have a look at it, see what I can do.
Perhaps put it onto that side and clamp it onto the fly stand.
Yeah, onto the desk rather than onto the onto the counter rather than the desk.
Yeah. We did say we were going to do a tour of the graph room when it was finished, didn't we? But yeah, that...
Not today.
No, that kind of went out the window.
Just coming up to the hour, sweetie.
Okay. So hopefully by now you've got something that resembles flowers. Okay, now what we're going to have to do, what we're going to have to do is, wherever we have a lighter area that has a white background, we need to create some definition. Now, the easy way to say is that, alright, okay, I'll do darker flowers, but with a lily you can't do darker flowers. So instead we have to build a background. So what I'm going to do is, I'll pop this away. I'm going to work around here and actually build in the background. Anybody going, no, 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 no?
No.
Good. So I'm going in with my ink tints, but at this point you could go to your strongest blue, or even like a paint grey, anything but black. I'm just going to blend it out. Okay, and if it's a bit too wet, we can just soften it up. Also, down here, scribble a patch, and I'm also going to go to a bit of the purple, and that's just to introduce a bit of interest in the background, because if you just do it one colour it looks really flat. I'm just going to drop that in. Okay. Now again up here we can start to actually just tidy that up a little bit. Now you can leave a little bit of a white highlight, so if I show you there. So in between your leaf and your background, if you've got a bit of a white highlight, that's absolutely fine. It just looks like it's the highlight on the leaf. And then we're just going to blend it up. And if you've still got some purple on your brush, that's absolutely fine too. So. The important thing is there's no harsh lines, so we don't want a definitive outer edge, so to speak. I'm just going to pull in some of that purple. We can start to just drag some of this colour out. And again, just follow it round just so you don't get any harsh outlines. What's that?
Sorry, I'm just thinking.
What are you thinking?
About camera, it's okay. Positioning.
You're going to come back tomorrow, guys, and it will be in a totally different place.
Yeah, it'll all be different.
So that's what we did. Change it each time.
I don't change it each time, do we? I mean,
It's not far off.
when we find an improvement, we improve it.
Yep. So, what I'm doing is, it's almost like negative drawing. So you're drawing around the object, which is also a good drawing practice if you want to learn to draw properly. There's loads of really good exercises that you can do to help your eyes. when it comes to drawing. When I was at uni, I had this teacher that was just obsessed with drawing exercises. So each week we'd have to do something different. So I have quite a list to go through of different ones you can try. So you're bound to find one that works for you. I'm just dropping in a bit of that purple again. Right, now because I'm going to go around this flower here, I'm just going to stop there very quickly, just go. So as we start to head over to this side, we've got a bit more of an issue because this is where your light would hit. So you've got to really let your background work for you and worry about whether you're going to cut it out later. So I'm just going to work right into that gap. And before I go any further, I'm just going to do another quick scribble that purple, just because I want to pick some more up. So I'm just going to drop that in there, and then it won't matter quite so much that you've got that little bit of a tide line. I think Pete's stream's going to be quite a long one today as well. So you're going well and truly entertained this afternoon.
Look at this bouquet card, isn't it? I think he's doing.
Yeah, it's a bouquet card, which is quite fun. I might do a different take on it tomorrow, so that you can do some flowers and things. I'm doing a flower stream on Thursday though, so maybe part of that one. Maybe.
What are we doing tomorrow?
I'm doing enhanced image tracing in the morning with this card.
Yeah.
And tomorrow afternoon I cannot remember.
Okay.
But
it'll be good, whatever it is.
yeah, whatever it is would be great, but I can't remember what it is. So you can still work it into the wet paper even with your ink tenses. Just with your ink tenses, make sure that you give your pencils a good clean after they've been wet. Just because otherwise they form like a film on the end, which you don't want. Where's you off to? Huh? You get me a drink?
No.
Oh, that's nice, isn't it? So, although we're doing all this, chances are this section will be cut away. But it still needs doing just so that we can pick it up with the enhanced image tracing. So, if you go pencil into wet and you're getting like a texture, just almost stab your brush into it. So you want to keep your brush more or less upright.
See, head back.
And then you can just work onto a dry area just to clean up our pencil.
I'll give you a drink after so you don't end up drinking it instead of dunking your brush in it.
And let's go
And even though I've only used the lightest bit of pressure, it still scratched the paper a little. But that's okay. So again, we're drawing round our petals. And also just in there, because our stem's light where we've washed it away. There we go. No. So far so good. Here's that one. Just going to put a little bit of our purple around that section. I'm just going to go and do the same round our rose very quickly because I'm aware of time.
1 out of 10.
1 out of 10, that's still not bad though, is it really?
No. So you've done the entire painting.
Yeah.
Speed watercolour.
That's what they should have called the ink tints. Speedy watercolour. I'm just going to apply a bit more in there, a bit more in there. Yeah, you can just use the side of the pencil for this. And it there. I'm going to have a little bit in here. I'm going to flick over to our purple, go down here, so continue our purple from there. And then we can blend it into our greeny section just here. If you want to get into doing more flowers in watercolour and maybe go a bit more abstract with them, there's a brilliant YouTuber called Emma Lefevre. I hope I pronounced that correctly. It's F-E-B-V-R-E. And she does some gorgeous abstract watercolours. So, no drawing involved, literally straight on to the paper with your brush. So if you find you're more of a painter than a drawer, that's who you need to go and be inspired by, because she's just amazing what she just pulls out of the bag. You know, 3 brush strokes and, oh look, a rose. Okay, so now we have our backdrop in, and hopefully we can then just add in details. So I'm going to go to madder brown, and I'm just literally going to go dot 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 dot. Okay, and again here dot 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 dot. And you want to make sure that you got a nice irregular shape down here as well, so it looks like your petals are actually joined to your centre of your flower. So the more it looks like, it's almost like a many pointed star almost. It will look better. And the same on our lily, so we can go dot 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 dot. And again dot 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 dot. Lots of dots. And I think, as long as I don't fiddle, that might be
Don't
it.
fiddle, leave it alone.
There's a few little bits I might do with the rose just to bring it up in a bit more contrast, but apart from that, I will sit on my hands and that will be good. Because he's giving me a lot of no. Okay, so hopefully that should be okay for you to see. I can't see at the moment.
Should be fine there.
That looks awfully luminous green on there. It's not quite that bright.
Come on. Will you put it down again?
Yeah. So, if yours has turned out as green as the one in the video, you might just want to calm it down with a spot of grey. Because that is showing totally different colours to what I'm seeing it. That is quite mad.
We'll be back tomorrow, yes?
Maybe. I'm about to get told off.
You leave it alone. Because your stream's starting to struggle now, so...
Okay. Doesn't mean I have to leave it alone. I can carry on going a little bit.
No, leave it alone.
Okay.
Say goodbye.
Yep. Okay, so we will see you tomorrow at 11 to do the enhanced image tracing with our piece. And join Pete at 4 for his bouquet card. See you at 10 for Barbara's doodle in the morning. Back with us for 11, and then we'll go through the rest of the schedule tomorrow. Okay, take care for now.